So the other day, my friend Lyndon, aka Bloke in Stoke, put out a video in which he claimed that it was no longer possible to buy that traditional crumbly Cheshire cheese of our youth. Now, Lyndon and I have a relationship based on very profound mutual respect. So, of course, my first reaction to all this was, what a load of bollocks. But could he be right? Well, there was only one way to find out, and that was to go on a cheese hunt of my own. And today we're going to be visiting 3 towns in our quest for Lyndon's Cheshire crumbly white. No, that's wrong, isn't it? So today I'm going to be embarking on an epic cheese hunt of my own. We're going to be visiting 3 towns, seeing what we can buy. I'm going to be having a taste of them, and then the final judgment will be passed by our Cheshire guru himself. He doesn't know anything about this yet, by the way. Now, I must admit, I did think that a video of 2 guys tasting cheeses might prove a bit dull. So I pondered what we could do to spice things up a bit. Most of you will know that this channel is primarily about railways. Not always, but primarily. And then I noticed that the 3 towns that I'm going to be visiting this morning are all railway towns. So I thought, well, what better platform, get it, for cheese tasting than the stations. So we're going to go to each town, going to buy some cheese, naturally, and then we're going to take it to the local station and see what I think about them. I know you can't wait, can you? So we're starting our quest in the genteel market town of Sandbach. And behind me is Godfrey C. Williams, a specialist grocer which has supplied the town with cheese and other delectables since 1875. Now, I'm on a bit of a quest. A friend of mine put up a YouTube video the other day saying that you can no longer find the traditional white crumbly Cheshire cheese. I'm here to prove him wrong and take him some back. Do you have something like that?
Applebee's. Applebee's do white and coloured. You right there by your finger. Yeah.
Produced in Shropshire though, I see, not Cheshire.
There's only really dealers at Nantwich that are making still Cheshire, and Bourne's at Malpas.
That's kind of like what you'll remember, do you think?
More traditional.
Yeah.
Crumbly.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that then, thank you. So there we are, crumbly Cheshire, number 1, tick. Let's go and try it. I must admit that before I started planning this trip, I wasn't really aware that Sandbach had a railway station, and there's a good reason for that, because it's about 2 miles out of town and not actually in Sandbach at all. It's in a place called Elworth. Nevertheless, they call it Sandbach. Now then, I have my first cheese, and this is the Applebee's traditional farmhouse Cheshire, produced in Shropshire. It contains unpasteurised milk and animal rennet, so I don't think Lyndon's a vegetarian. I think we'll be all right there. It's £1.85 per 100 grams, which doesn't sound bad to me. Let's try a bit, shall we? Well, the first thing to say is it looks amazing, and just look how that crumbles. Yeah, that's crumbly as you like. Yeah, that's really nice. It's got a nice crumbly texture. It's not overly crumbly, I have to say that, but it's got that little salty backwash that you associate with Cheshire cheese. So yeah, very nice indeed. Just have another little bit. Because you've got to be sure about these things, haven't you? This is enthralling, isn't it? On to our next destination. Now I'm on something of a cheese quest. My friend Lyndon put up a YouTube video the other day and said it's no longer possible to buy traditional white crumbly Cheshire cheese. Can we prove him wrong?
So this, where you've got the wax bound and the cloth bound,
Yeah.
so these spawns, the last people making their own Cheshire on their own farm with their own milk that you can get. So they're the only ones. So it is possible,
Yeah.
because they're the only ones doing it.
Okay.
During the Second World War, maybe just afterwards, the government made a decree that cheeses had to be made more of a cheddar-like consistency because they last longer, which isn't true. They believe that they would last, but rationing and
Yeah, I suppose less crumbly as well, because that
yeah,
you
well, it didn't
you lose a bit of the cutting, I suppose.
yeah, but you don't. It doesn't actually go off any
No.
quicker, so that destroyed a lot of the industry apparently. Vaughan's Cotton Cheshire. So the Vaughan's family have been doing it for a good couple of 100 years. Mr. Vaughan himself, who's semi-retired now, he's about 82. He does a bit of it. One of his sons helps him out and is still doing it. He comes in occasionally with a couple of cheeses for us.
Fantastic. Now I think this is a little bit crumblier than the one before. Let's have a taste. Well, that was a surprise. It's not as salty as the Applebee. A little bit short in taste. And I don't mean it hasn't got any flavour, but you know when you drink, say, New World wine for a long time, it's got a very fruity and strong flavour, and then you open a bottle of French wine and it's drier and the flavours are more sort of subtle, and the whole thing is a drier experience somehow. That's kind of the difference between the Applebee and the Bourne's cloth bound. But yeah, a very nice cheese nevertheless, and well done Mr. Bourne and your family for keeping up the tradition. We're nearly back home. We're at our third and final destination, and it's Longton, one of the 6 towns of the potteries. I thought I'd come here because it's got a very good market, and also you might think that me sourcing other cheeses from Cheshire, Sandbach and Nantwich, not exactly on Lyndon's doorstep, but having said that, he went all the way to Burnley when he was looking on his own, didn't he? I'm searching for a friend. Well, not searching on behalf of a friend, I should say. No, I don't think he's hiding behind your cheese store. He's after the white crumbly Cheshire of old. You know, the sort of old-fashioned crumbly white cheddar. Cheshire, rather. You got any?
I've got Cheshire, I've got crumbly Lancashire.
Okay. Well, it's Cheshire who was after, I think.
Yeah.
So let's...
How much did you want? That or bigger?
That's about right, actually, I think, yeah.
That's all right. £1.90.
I could tell I was back in the potteries because suddenly everything's being sold in pounds, and none of that fancy sort of provenance on the labels. It's just white Cheshire. So we'll give it a go. Okay, let's have a corner off and see what we think. Part of me thinks that that might be the best of the lot, really. It's certainly the best value. It perhaps doesn't have the careful crumbliness of the Applebee. It's drier in flavour, rather like the the real Cheshire that we tasted on Nantwich Station. But overall, very, very pleasant, and you cannot deny the value for money. So right now, Lyndon, there doesn't seem to be any reason why you can't get crumbly white Cheshire right on your own doorstep. All right, one day, one haircut, and about 3 inches of rain later. Let's go and see what bloke in Stoke makes of all this cheese. Hello.
I'm shouting at you to come on in.
Oh, right. I seem to remember that you complained in your last video
About
that you couldn't get Cheshire cheese.
yes.
Well, yesterday I went.
You've not been buying bloody Cheshire cheese.
I've been to 3 towns, matey, 3 towns. To buy.
You do know me, don't you?
I thought that was really
You know me very well.
kind of like your.
We do that.
Yes, there we go. Product placement, right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Option number 1.
Option number 1.
Oh, the aroma's there. Definitely. Now I'm going to go raw to start with, because I am, you know, just to have an unadulterated sample. Ooh, texture's right. Taste is really good. Excellent. You just take me back 40 years. We'll do a combo for the mouth feel, because that's all important. You know, does the sea salt and olive oil overwhelm the delicate taste of the cheese? I'd actually induce just a little more saliva. Fabulous. Option number 2. Now then. That's a little firmer, that is. That's definitely a little firmer in its consistency. And the smell's very different. A bit more acidic. So, naked test first. I haven't cleansed my cup. I'll have a swig in my cup of tea. Right, I'll give it a go. It's definitely a drier cheese, but the flavour's more intense. A very different taste. Very nice, don't get me wrong, but I would have to go with a little bit of pickle or chutney. If I was to eat it in quantity, and I do eat it in quantity. Option number 3. Oh, that's a very different sniff. Hasn't got the acidity of number 2. It's actually quite muted, that one, I would say, on the sniff test. Here we go. That's even drier, so that's more, it's less moist straight away. It crumbles in your mouth, but stays in ever decreasing crumble size as you masticate. I hope your automatic subtitle gets that word right. Not an awful lot of odour with that at all.
Of course, this is the one thing I wasn't able to test.
No, of course.
For the benefit of the camera,
Yeah.
I don't have a sense of smell.
Bloody good sense of humour, though. Makes up for it, doesn't it? Some of your jokes stink. But you wouldn't know that, would you? But I think, in first place, with a new world record, is option number 1. You know my brain doesn't work. You're publicising the fact that my brain is absolutely screwed. Yeah, it's the smell. is there straight away with that. It immediately crumbles but then dissolves. Very creamy, nice and tangy.
So we have a winner.
We definitely have a winner.
So 48 hours and another continuity nightmare later, we're back at home base. Thanks to everybody at the cheese shops for being such good sports, and of course the farmers and cheese producers who keep this tradition going. Long may it continue. If you like this video, give it the old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.